Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something that starts, well, terrifyingly. Imagine a head-on crash, 65 miles an hour, straight into concrete, July 2019.
Yeah, and the experiencer's very last conscious thought was absolute certainty.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna die. It's about as abrupt and traumatic an entry point into an NDE as you can get.
Exactly. But what we want to unpack in this deep dive is how structured things became almost immediately after that. It's not just spiritual, it's almost, well, bureaucratic.
That's a great way to put it. We're talking about an account that details things like a celestial waiting area, specific guides acting like maybe informational gatekeepers, and this incredible concept of time manipulation.
So let's jump right in. 1 second, there's the crash, the violence, the metal. The next, she says she's no longer in the car, just floating, nobody.
Right. And immediately, in this very specific place, not just floating in space, but contained,
What did she say it looked like?
she called it a black void. But interestingly, not pitch black empty darkness. She described walls, a ceiling, a floor, all made of this blackish gray mix.
Okay.
But behind these surfaces, she sensed this incredibly bright light. Powerful. Like it was, her words, going to burst through at any moment.
Wow, sounds intense, like being inside something immensely powerful but contained. Was she scared?
Surprisingly, no. Alone, yes. But not scared. Mostly just intensely curious. And here's a key point. She felt more conscious, more alert than normal.
Higher awareness. Not groggy or dreamlike.
Not at all. Super alert. Thoughts racing, but clearly faster than usual.
Yeah.
And her senses were just dialed way up.
Okay, that heightened state is something we hear about in NDEs, isn't it? Like the brain's filters are off.
That's one prominent theory. Yeah, that maybe the usual filters just shut down and consciousness gets this raw, unfiltered flood of information. Her senses really bear that out.
Tell me about the vision. She called it hypervision.
Yeah, crystal clear. More vivid than normal sight. And the really strange part was this ability to, like, zoom in.
Zoom in. How?
Just by thinking about it. She could focus on something far away and instantly see it up close, in perfect detail, without moving. Like a metal camera zoom.
That's incredible. And hearing.
Also crystal clear. It points to this totally different mode of perception, right? Beyond the limits of our physical eyes and ears. Like, she was processing information on a completely different level.
Okay, so she's in this void, hyper-aware, senses amplified. Then what?
Then the bureaucracy arise, as you put it. She sees figures approaching from the distance. A group. She said at least a dozen angels.
Angels. Okay, that fits some expectations. But the description she gave, it's not typical, is it?
Not at all. And this is where it gets really specific and frankly strange. Forget the tall, flowing robes, wings maybe. She said they were very short.
Short. How short?
About 4 feet tall. Slender. They had black, shoulder-long hair and brown eyes.
4 feet tall. Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
that's definitely not the standard picture. Does that detail, being so specific and unusual, maybe lend it more weight? Suggest it's not just her projecting cultural images?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Yeah. When the details diverge so sharply from someone's background and she was Christian Catholic, it makes you wonder. It's less symbolic, maybe more functional. Like their appearance suited a purpose we don't grasp.
What about their clothes?
Or demeanor.
They wore different colored gowns, blue, red, pink, yellow, green, bright. And their faces, she said, were full of light. Stern, maybe, conveying authority. But their eyes were very kind, very loving, a real mix.
Structure and compassion. And how did they communicate? You mentioned gatekeepers earlier.
Right, it was all telepathic. Which, interestingly, she said felt perfectly natural. Like, of course, this is how you communicate here.
So they could read her thoughts?
Yeah.
Answer questions instantly.
Instantly. Sometimes before she even finished formulating the question in her mind. But here's the crucial boundary she mentioned.
Which was?
She could communicate with them, but she couldn't just freely read their minds. She could only perceive what they... Let me see.
Ah, okay. So it wasn't an open channel, it was managed information. Filtered. Exactly. Which positions them less like all-knowing, sharing mentors, and more guides, managing the flow of information. Very controlled.
And was it all of them communicating, or...?
No, another detail pointing to structure. Only one seemed to be in charge. That was the only one who spoke audibly, though telepathy was the main mode. The others just watched, kindly, lovingly.
Protecting her. And did that sense of being protected help? I mean, she just went through a horrific crash.
Oh, completely. When the panic about the accident finally hit her, realizing what must have happened, the lead angel immediately told her she was safe, protected, and loved.
And that worked?
Instantly. All the anxiety just evaporated. replaced by this profound sense of peace and security, so much so that she explicitly thought, I want to stay here forever.
That feeling of unconditional love and safety, it's so core to many NDEs, but they had to explain why she was there, right? She asked if she was dying.
She did. And the answer wasn't a simple yes or no. The lead angel told her the decision hasn't been decided yet.
Not decide.
Apparently not. And that was the reason for this specific location. It was, quote, a waiting area.
A waiting area. Wow, that implies some kind of process, doesn't it? Like divine administration. Things need to be reviewed.
Precisely. It suggests it's not always an immediate transition. It's a staging ground. Neutral territory while a decision is pending. Outside of our normal flow of time, it seems.
Okay, so the hierarchy, the waiting area. Let's talk about that time aspect, because that's where things get really, really strange.
Agreed. This is fundamental to her experience. She noticed early on that time felt, well, stopped, or incredibly stretched out.
Like time dilation.
Exactly, but extreme. She felt like she'd been there for a very, very long time, maybe years, subjectively. So she asked the angel about it.
And the answer?
The angel told her simply, you are currently outside of time.
Okay. That concept exists in NDE literature, but didn't they say more? Something about why time felt different.
Yes, and this is the truly radical claim. The angel didn't just say time was different for her. They said they, the angels, had actively slowed down time.
Wait, they slowed down time? For what purpose?
To save her. That was the explanation. To intervene in the physical event of the crash, lessening its impact somehow by manipulating time itself.
Whoa. Okay, so they're not just guides, they're reality engineers. They can control time, slow it, speed it up.
That's what the angel stated,
Yeah.
that they can temporarily alter time's flow to do their job. It raises huge questions, doesn't it?
Yeah, like, was the crash meant to happen and they intervened, or was the intervention always part of the plan? Is it fate, or is it celestial emergency response?
It definitely sounds more like real-time intervention, a flexible system where these beings have powers that override physics as we know it.
Yeah.
Think about that disconnect she felt.
The subjective time versus real time.
Yeah, it felt like years to her in that void. But when she eventually returned, only 15 or 20 minutes had passed since the crash.
Years versus minutes. That subjective expansion is common, but here it was explicitly linked to an action by the angels, a function they performed.
Right, it gives a sort of technical explanation almost for the time dilation beyond just subjective perception. It was operational.
Okay, so this waiting area outside of time, the decision still needed to be made. How did that happen?
This part reinforces the hierarchy. The lead angel, the one in charge, actually walked away for a bit. She saw him looking upwards, talking apparently to God, an unseen presence for quite a long time.
Like a consultation, not just praying, but actually conversing.
That was the impression.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, a second angel stayed near her and confirmed what was happening.
Confirmed it. What did they say?
That the first angel was indeed talking to God, and that the final decision, stay or go back, was up to him. Because, the angel added, he knows what's best for us.
So even these powerful time-manipulating angels are still executors of a higher will. They don't make the final call.
Exactly. And eventually, the decision came. The first angel returned.
Mm-hmm.
She couldn't stay. She had to go back.
Just like that. How did the return happen?
Instantly. No transition, no warning. One moment, she's in that timeless, peaceful void. The next, boom, back in the wreckage.
Oh, wow. The whiplash from that.
Incredible, right?
Yeah.
She found herself back in the driver's seat, and there was a paramedic leaning over her, asking if she was in pain. From eternal peace to physical agony in an instant.
That must be the hardest part. So, okay, she's back. What did she bring with her from that experience? The time stuff, the waiting area. What were the main takeaways?
Emotionally, the biggest thing was that feeling. That profound peace, the security, the unconditional love and acceptance. She emphasized that the angels didn't judge me. At all.
That lack of judgment seems key.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It often forms the bedrock of the changes people make afterwards. And she also received specific insights, like knowledge.
What kind of knowledge?
She was told clearly that life isn't meaningless, that everyone has a purpose, specific work we are supposed to carry out. It gives a sense of mission to being sent back, you know.
Right, a reason for returning.
And also this assurance that everything, even the terrible things like the crash itself, happens for a reason. There's a bigger picture.
How did all this fit with her existing beliefs? She was Christian Catholic, you said.
Yes. And seeing angels, the concept of God making the decision, an afterlife that was all broadly consistent, which perhaps made it easier to integrate.
But the specifics were weird. The short angels, the waiting void.
Exactly. That initial phase, being alone in that blackish gray void with the light pressing in, that wasn't part of her expected picture of heaven or the transition. It's that mix of the familiar and the utterly strange that makes accounts like this so intriguing.
Did it change her life drastically afterwards?
She described the changes as moderate, but lasting. The main thing was a shift in priorities, trying to spend more time with family, with friends, valuing connection more.
A common outcome. What about the memory itself? Does she remember it clearly?
This is often a crucial point for researchers. She says the memory of the NDE is incredibly vivid, hyper-accurate. It hasn't faded over time like ordinary memories.
She remembers it like yesterday.
As clearly as if it happened yesterday, is how she put it, which contrasts sharply with her other memories from around the time of the accident, which have faded. That persistence, that clarity, is often cited as evidence that these aren't just dreams or hallucinations. The memory encoding feels different.
So wrapping this up, we've looked at an NDE that's remarkable for its sheer organization, the structure.
Definitely. Highly communicative guides, a defined waiting area, explicit explanations for things like time dilation, and these guides operating seemingly outside our known physics.
With that very clear hierarchy and system of managed information.
Right. And remember that crucial point. The angels told her they could only communicate what they allowed her to know or see. Information was filtered.
Which leaves us, and you listening, with a really interesting question to think about. If there are guiding forces, entities that can manage reality to this degree,
And they control the information flow.
would you actually want the complete, unfiltered truth of everything, the whole cosmic database, potentially overwhelming? Or would you prefer to receive only the specific knowledge deemed best for us, tailored, filtered by these guides?
Full access versus curated insight. It's a profound choice to consider. What's truly best?
Something to definitely ponder. Until our next deep dive.
Thank you for listening to Borrowed Time NDE Podcasts. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you'll never miss a moment of inspiration. Until next time, wishing you an extraordinary and truly wonderful time on your journey through life.